Hi, everyone. Welcome to Around the Emirates podcast with Sarah, where I speak to guests from across the UAE about topics you want to hear about. Today, I am joined by Monica, who is a nutrition health coach. Hi, Monica.
Hi, Sarah.
How's it going?
It's going good.
So, I understand that you're an expert in the nutritional health, and I am dying to find out all about this. What is your story?
Okay, so let me just correct. So I'm an expert at gut health.
Okay.
So pretty much we all know that all disease and pretty much everything that happens starts in the gut. So what happened was, I was actually stuck in Bali
Okay.
during COVID. Okay, so I went there on vacation. I was there for planning to be there for 3 weeks, and I ended up staying there for 3 months because I got stuck. It was a lockdown, and yeah, exactly. So I left work for this like vacation to Bali, literally when the lockdown started here. Like that day, I
Oh
flew
boy.
out, and I was stuck. And I did try to come back, but I just had to, just go with the flow and just, you know, make it, work. So
Hmm.
I spent that time in Bali. I don't know if you've been to Bali, but it's such a beautiful place. The food is very clean, organic, fresh. The cafes, I mean, beautiful cafes. Um, just the lifestyle there. There's really good energy there.
Yeah.
So I used that time to just focus on health because I was like, I'm locked down now. What am I going to do? So I
Mm.
was watching a lot of like YouTube videos on like nutrition and came across this course called integrative nutrition course through New York University. And so I read up on it and I was like, this is a bit interesting. And since I'm stuck here and not doing anything else, why don't I
Why
look into this?
not?
Yeah, exactly. And, with my background being a nurse and stuff, I've always been interested. Well, I'm around, disease and disorders and things like that. So
Right.
I was always interested in stuff like that. So,
Mm.
took that time to research. And when I got back to Abu Dhabi, I enrolled in that course. And really, it was more just for my own interest. It wasn't because I was trying to be a health coach. It
Mm.
was more just, how can I eat better? How could I be better? You know?
Right.
And yeah, so it took a year to do this course. And
Wow.
the more and more, it was part time
I
because
see.
I have a full time job.
Right. Yeah.
So
Heard that.
yeah, so the more and more I did this, the more interested I got. And I was like, wow, there were things that I had no clue about, like reading labels, you know.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, so that's pretty much it. I did my course, and now I get to use whatever knowledge I have, pretty much at work. I
Yeah.
don't officially work as a health coach, but I do give free advice, and I do volunteer talks. And yeah, that's pretty much how I got to be what I'm at right now.
That's really cool. So I appreciate that you kind of coach people, whether it's, paid or not, just to give them advice and to help them understand their nutritional routines better through the gut specifically. What would you say was your biggest challenge getting through this? I know that you obviously were in Bali and, you were stuck there in lockdown, but was there something that you really felt like you struggled to deal with, but then you overcame it?
Well, I've also had a bit of a gut issue for like
Oh, okay.
25 years now. And that's kind of how I really wanted to, get my health better. So it was
Right.
interest and stuff like that. So there's been struggles for me just to get that, back to normal and stuff.
Mm.
And the struggle really is trying to tell people, like, stop telling people, don't do that, like, don't eat that, because it's annoying. Because now at
Right.
work, when people are in in the lounge eating their lunch, they literally hide from me. So they'll hide their lunch, okay? And if they know that I'm coming into the lunchroom, they will literally cover their food.
Wow,
And I don't
Monica.
want to be that kind of person. Like, I don't want people to be scared of me. So what I've decided to do is just bring healthy things to work for them to, share, like if I made some healthy muffins and stuff, I'll just bring them in and they'll eat them and they're like, wow, I can't believe this actually tastes good. And then I'm like, here's the recipe,
I see.
or, so it's things like that. That's been the struggle, I guess, because people are afraid to eat around me.
No,
I don't judge.
You raise
I
an
don't
interesting
judge.
point, actually, because you don't want people to think that you're preaching, right? Like, you want to help people understand their own guts better, but at the same time, they have their own prerogative with their diets and with the food they want. And some people just like certain types of food that are bad for them. So you can't exactly be like, don't eat this ever again. But at the same
Right.
time, you do want to help them in a productive way. So I can totally see where that's coming from. Okay, so now that we know that you're an expert on the gut, tell me something crazy about the gut that we should all know about.
So my number one thing when people come up to me, and I get them on this sort of a gut detox. And so the gut detox that I do is I just eliminate a few things out of their diet.
Okay.
And crowd in with healthier things. Okay. So if I tell them, let's remove, let's say, a starchy carb, okay, like a bread or a rice, but instead of that, let's add in more vegetables, so your plate, if we've taken that bread away, let's pile on some more veggies, so it's called crowding out.
Okay.
And the number one thing I tell people is listen to your gut. Okay. If you've eaten something and your gut is not feeling good, it's trying to tell you something. Okay. So I put them through this 10-day gut reset, I call it. It's not mine. I follow another expert. And this is the gut detox that pretty much, once people are on it, they don't even come back to me. They're like, I'm doing so much better.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Like it's made such a difference. So when they do come back to me, it's more like, okay, now I want to keep feeling this good. I don't want to go back to the way I was feeling. And it's only when you start to feel really good is when you're going to notice how shitty you were feeling.
That's very true.
You know what I mean? And that's what's happened with these, with the people that I've coached, is they've started to feel better. And they're like, man, I don't want to go back to the way I was feeling. Like, I want to sustain this. So what I do is, this is when I come in and help them sustain this lifestyle, So I'm not saying don't eat rice ever, but I'm saying, let's look at alternatives like healthier grains, and everyone is different. Okay. Rice and starchy vegetables or yogurt or whatever, it might work for one person and it might not work for the other. So it's just really trying out and eliminating. And the number one thing, the takeaway, like, honestly, is sugar. Sugar is like the worst thing you could probably put it. It causes so much disease and disorder in your like, it's huge. And there's sugar in everything. Every single thing. Like, for example, a piece of toast, right? So if someone says, oh, I just have a piece of toast, I don't have any sugar on there, like I don't put any honey or jam or whatever. But did you know that one slice of white bread has 2 teaspoons of sugar in it?
Wow, I did not know that. That's insane.
Exactly. So that's what I tell people. It's like, and my other takeaway is reading labels. Know what you're putting in your body. And I'm not talking about the fats, carbs, and protein, the breakdown. I'm not talking about that. Go down to the ingredient list. Okay. And start reading it. If you can't pronounce that word, you shouldn't be putting it in your body. Like, seriously. And, you know, and I tell people there's over 152 names for sugar that
What?
there's 152 names for sugar.
Jesus.
So a lot of those words are basically sugar, and
I
they're
see.
chemicals, and they're made in a lab. So yeah, so those are kind of my two major, you know, takeaways. And yeah, listening to your gut, basically.
I mean,
You know,
in the metaphorical sense and in the physical sense. But thank you so much for sharing that. That's actually really interesting, especially the sugar bit. I have had such a great time talking to you. I've learned a lot about my gut, and I definitely will be more conscious of checking ingredients and labels on the food that I eat. But I really appreciate taking the time to talk to me about this. And for everyone listening in, cut out the sugar. Cool. Well, thank you
thank
so much for your
you.
time, Monica.
Thank you. I had a great time.
Thanks. Take care. Bye.
Take care. Bye.